Let me circle back on inspection, what I done in 18th of December 2024, where I have been accused by the seller, Salvatore Performance, of damaging or creating faults on his car, right? So I looked into the report and I have looked into the evidence I have, you know, where obviously his acquisitions doesn't match what the report actually says, and more likely what what a customer have decided to do. So situation was I arrived on inspection at Porsche Cayenne in some sort of random residential area, and which was his business address, the trading address where he trades from, and I have inspected this vehicle, Porsche Cayenne. I have found this vehicle with numerous issues. Basically the car was faulty at the time of the sale, right? And let's have a look in the report itself what I actually found, and let's see, Saleh, right? Have I done something to your car as you accusing it, and you left reviews to different businesses, right? To different business, I mean, specifically, and I obviously found this out and I investigated myself. We'll get to the identification, how I found him, and then I obviously notified car examiner to they do their own investigation, right? So, but here's my report. Let's jump to, I have found there's issues like around 30, right? Some of them more likely will be consistent for the age and mileage, but some of them clearly there is a fault, and the car has been sold faulty. So a suspension light came on our infotainment system, on a dashboard. Noisy air compressor and suspecting left rear strut fault, right? Engine light appeared when vehicle was idling. That's found during the inspection. Also, the moisture in the headlights, electronic diagnostics section, engine control, faults cleared 0 kilometers ago, so that means they've been cleared before my arrival. The seller advised that they've been doing some repairs, lambda sensor replacements and fuel sensor for fuel tank, something, but obviously same fault appeared when I'd done a diagnostic scan. Various audio system speaker faults and door faults and a suspension fault. This report is restricted. There's many pictures, diagnostic scan, screenshots not appearing on this, as is designed to share. Basically a simplified version, right? So let's go further. Interior, passenger seat ripped in few areas, marks all over the interior, rear parcel shelf missing, passenger front left seat belt needs routed correct way, door trims, interior seals, obviously that's general. It's a 2012 Porsche Cayenne, hybrid. Engine drivetrain, some oil leaks developing on developing stage from back of the engine. One of the coolants device replaced -7 consistency. Hybrid system is fine. Brakes, brake discs fair, had 60% worn, advised to replace. Brake discs as well, but it can last another set of pads. That was front ones. Rear ones 50% worn. So yeah, like average, wheels and tires, or mostly all tires perishing, should need new ones. Shock absorbers, brushes, left suspension airbag issue. You can see it in a video. The details what I'm pointing out, the warning lights on, etc. And exhaust system, some random issues, needs attention. And bodywork, excessive filler used on repairs on all left side of the vehicle. You can refer it to the video, you can see it. There's a bumper damage on the front left corner. It's been pushed in. Some plastics broken on a seal trim. Some plastics, evident of past repairs, yes. So there's also right quarter panel resprayed and a shade mismatch. You can notice it. So I added some potential repair costs, right? Obviously, clearly the guy who's buying a car, in my opinion, misled, right? Being misled. However, obviously, all of the issues when all the warning lights came on, because I noticed something is not right with this guy, right? Every time I specifically called him out, every warning light came on, I called him out and I told, look, the warning light came on, right? So I carried out all this inspection and I have decided not to road test this vehicle because obviously the vehicle is faulty, right? Because I sensed already something's not right. I had some idea this guy will accuse me of something, right? And I wasn't far wrong, right? So what happened afterwards, obviously it was in December of 2024. The guy more likely haven't sold the car, and as it coming to the end of the year, right, everything is a bit dead. So he thought he will do a revenge, right? So when I found out it is him, right, then what I did is I called him. And I have explained him, look, you have left incorrect reviews to incorrect business, right? He said, that is my experience. You damaged my car, when you're going to fix it. Obviously, in conversation, he hanged up on me, right? And ever since, I haven't reached out regards to apology. And how I identified this fellow, right? I found this account and I was investigating myself, as said. So the profile was left open and I started to look into it. There was his pictures as well. And I found this G-Wagon, which is crash damaged and repaired. And I seen that on the videos. I seen in the videos where on his website he is delivering this vehicle to the customer. We'll get to it. I seen in his videos that's the car as well. It's also obviously this vehicle is listed in his stock list. So all these, obviously his picture and this vehicle, well, clearly he's been hiding. He think no one will ever find out it was him, right? So that's That's the G-Wagon, right? Which had bodywork added on. And that's fine. So he's also mentioning he crashed this car. He had serious accident damage. In a review he left for the Elite Bodyworks online. Obviously by now, this account has restricted visibility of all the reviews of what he have left. Right, but that's how you make a mistake, you know. And but that's life, you know. Because in my opinion, you've been so dishonest, right? Where I explained you all the issues, and you had guts to do something like that, right? Where you've been saying you are a solicitor, you're working for BBC, right? Apparently, right? This is just my opinions about you, my personal opinions, right? Which is disgraceful behavior from you know. And instead of taking all the issues on the chin, right, and fixing the vehicle, you decide to blame me. I damaged your car, right? So, so that's how this car, the G-Wagon, also looks, right? There's nothing wrong. You can sell faulty cars as faults or crash damaged cars or damage, as long as you pass this information to the customer, right? Where obviously, when I read this car has been relisted in December or January, I can't remember. It's not important, but I read the Auto Trader listing, and it wasn't mentioned that vehicle had crash damage repairs. And to me, I don't particularly care. I just displaying why my journey, how I identified this guy, right? Also, what raised my red flags, right? The address where he's selling from is not providing anything on contact us page, right? And when you read about it, he's referring to they are exclusive small boutique style dealership and are not open to general public in that sense, right? I don't know what it means. All of our time spent focusing on purchasing the finest cars and presenting them magnificently, and then accommodating genuine customers, right? Okay, all the pictures are taken in some sort of forest somewhere, right? He says he's a boutique seller, right? But he sells all the cars from home, right? As you've seen this, the Porsche is removed from here, right? But obviously anyone with internet can have a look on online website Arhouse, and you can pull up all the details what's been added before. You know, that Cayenne has disappeared from it, you know. The G-Wagon is still there, you know, so. And when I found this address, right, this is where I was inspecting the car, that's sort of his office, that's where he's selling cars from, trading from. It's a residential area, ex-council estate, right? That's how the small boutique. Also, you have to start from somewhere, right? But when person gets very dishonest, right, or gets offended when the car's been faulty, and he haven't sells the car, he blames somebody else for it, right? That's just not right, you know. So I just want to show the people like this exist, right? You know, in general, there's lots of sharks out there. You have to check what you're buying, right? And but clearly he has to list his address, right, in contact us section, which well, clearly is not right, you know. When not referring to the seller, but in general, when you have things strictly by appointment, you know, and no address is listed in contact us, and you can't find the address when you're Googling for this business online or any business online, there should be red flags, right? Something is not right. You should be, by that time, already super vigilant, right? What I experienced also regards to his reviews, obviously, I left my own review, right? Because his review was unfaithful, right? It just didn't happen. By nature, it didn't happen. Every time I added, and when I monitor this account, when somebody else adds the bad reviews, he tries to remove all of them because none of these reviews are verified, right? So anyone randomly can leave it. Every time somebody adds the review, then freshly good reviews keeps popping up, right? And I found this interesting. This guy have left a bad review, and straight away good reviews appearing, right? Also, there were several more bad reviews, but they have been reviewed. This is just my concern. It doesn't mean anything, but it was evident when there are bad reviews appearing, and then suddenly good reviews appearing, right? So these guys, obviously, they're selling, picking up the cars, selling. Obviously, I noticed this car has been delivered to this customer, right? And I noticed also in one of the older videos where somebody picks up the car, here is this G-Wagon where it's just a G63. These are old alloys, and they fitted this kit on, right? So and changed them. See, they still got these old alloys, and the final version was somewhere. Yeah, the final version's here. You can see. So they're putting the Brabus kit on to make it look appealing, right? So this my review about this specific seller is just to help somebody who looks for cars, right? Not always things mean what is in good reviews and what and and what people add in their YouTube videos, right? I came across several times where sellers selling poor cars, they have YouTube content, right? And they want to look authentic and they want to look transparent, but in reality, the picture is a bit different, right? As you can see, what I have experienced, right? It's just a reality, unfortunately. I will put my report link in a YouTube video description, and you can view it for yourself. Obviously, somebody in his clear mind, right? I'm trying to stay completely sort of neutral, right? Because most of the cars I found on the car examiner, there's a new stats under inspection packages. Depends on which package. There's about 90 to 95% of used cars has issues, right? So it just indicates how the market is, and market always was, and more likely always will if the people will not check cars, right? Every single car pretty much on the market, they never checked. They never checked as you as a consumer want them to be checked, right? Everything is a cost-cutting exercise. Buy low, sell high, invest as less as possible in a vehicle, and sell it, right? Called car flipping, right? So obviously, most of the cars what sellers has or have, they are only as good as they bind them, right? So as you can see on some of the videos, they go in and viewing the cars, Whether they have some knowledge or skill, I don't know, But well, clearly this car I inspected, it wasn't completely something what I would want to buy at all, right? And obviously, as I'm staying neutral, right? The point of the report is the customer can, if the customer still has a trust after the inspection, allow the seller to rectify it, right? And because there are occasions where if the car, as let's say, has a crash damage or bodywork repairs, or there are faults, and seller is transparent and says, look, yeah, we have these issues, we completed some repairs, but we think it's sensible repair, we're just letting you know. That's completely different ballgame. You've been honest right at the beginning. Customer appreciates that. Does the inspection just to double check there's no major issues, right? And most of the time, that means then the customer can see the seller has been honest, and then they can trust further through the sale, right, to allow it to be rectified. But if somebody, in my opinion, has been dishonest right at the beginning, right, well, clearly, any customer, I would lose the trust, right, and I would not want to have any dealings with this particular seller, right. Also, obviously, regards to the same Porsche, right, there was also a supercharger intermittent rattle, right, and it's just when you're looking logically on this report, it's just something where you as a customer or me as a buyer, right, is a 2012 car, right, is done 88,592 miles, right, and looking at the condition, paintwork, interior, everything else, right, is just screams like there's it just screams the problems, right? But the consumer's responsibility is to pick out the best out of loads of junk, right? Because it's 2012 car, right? So especially when you're buying all the cars, they all will have problems, right? So you need to pick out the best one, So it will never be the first one you inspect or first one you viewing, right? And it's just the nature of of used vehicles. Regards to same Porsche, right? It's not in this report, but it's in a video feedback. There is supercharger intermittent rattle present as well. So, the car, it is what it is, and Salah, it's just bad on you, it's just bad on you. I wasn't expecting you gonna behave like that, especially where I explained you that your car has problems. I'm gonna road test it, right? And you have a guts to do something like that. It just shows you what kind of person you are, It's just embarrassing from you. I hope it helps somebody to view the stories about how car sellers can be, and how they sort of act. And if you if you haven't bought a used car, it's just this is just an example of how things can get ugly sometimes. You can have a look also on the summary on this inspection report, link in the description.